What does the fox say?
Yeah, so here, I gotta do this again. God, you're so adorable.
My
Okay.
picture is in
I have
there.
a question. What's in it for us?
It's recording me. Okay.
Be
So-
quiet would have been.
What's in it for us?
Shut up. That's rude. I feel sad.
Christmas is an English term that means Mass on Christ's Day. First celebrated Christmas was recorded in 336 AD after the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great came to the throne and recognized Christianity as the legal religion. The date of Christ's birth wasn't set until the 3rd century. Shh. Winter festivals like the Saturnalia of ancient Rome and Yule or Jule in Northern Europe, they both influenced Christmas when Christianity spread into Europe. Saturnalia began in Rome at least 200 years before the lifetime of Jesus. Yule or Jule means the feast of the Nativity of Jesus Christ. When a birthday celebration for Jesus finally happened, it mingled with Saturnalia and Yule. The first written evidence of an annual celebration on December 25th, commemorating the birth of Jesus, happened in the 4th century. The 4 Gospels from the New Testament books tell us the most about the life story of Jesus. In Matthew, an angel announces to Joseph the forthcoming birth of Jesus. Also includes wise men, the moving star, and the family's escape to Egypt. In Mark, there is nothing about the birth of Jesus. And Luke, it talks about an angel appearing to Mary rather than to Joseph, and it includes shepherds and a multitude of angels appearing to them in the fields. In John, it tells us nothing about a baby laying in a manger, no wise men or shepherds, no birth story. The Matthew and Luke Gospels agree on a few basic things, such as the names of Jesus' parents and Mary's virginity. When Christians eventually got around to organizing a separate annual celebration of the birth of Jesus, they took the few things provided by Matthew and Luke, put them together, and then added some additional traditions in order to get much of a story to work with. No one knows the exact day or year of when Jesus was born. With a variety of arguments to support their views, assorted Christians in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th centuries argued for March 25th and 28th, April 19th and 20th, May 20th, and November 18th as the birthday. When Roman Western Christians eventually started to recognize December 25th as Jesus' birthday, they met resistance from some Eastern Christians who complained that they already had a commemoration of Jesus' birth, and it was January 6th. In the West, the first written record we have that associates the birth of Jesus with December 25th is found in a Roman document called the Philocalian calendar, also known as the Chronograph of 354, which is itself a collection of lists and records, something like an illustrated almanac. Constantine, the first Roman emperor to embrace Christianity,
Girls.
who ruled some or all of the empire from 306 to 337,
Oh.
when he ended the Roman persecution of Christians, everything changed. The dating of the Philocalian calendar suggests that Christmas developed early in Constantine's lifetime or shortly after his death. From the beginning, Christmas was a mixture of pre-existing winter festivals and Christian themes. It is simply a fact that many beloved elements of the Christmas story do not appear in the Gospel's accounts and are traditions added later, somewhere along the way. For those Christians who use the gospel narratives as a baseline for reliability, many of the Christmas details are not in Matthew and Luke. No donkey, no oxen or sheep around the manger, no bright star, no specific number of wise men, no kings, and no names. There are many legends centered around the origin of the Christmas tree. An English Benedictine monk named Boniface, who was a missionary to Germany. In 723, Saint Boniface encountered winter sacrifices being conducted in front of a mighty oak tree dedicated to Thor in what is now Germany. Angered, Boniface seized an axe and felled Thor's oak in one mighty blow. The local citizens that were gathered expected Thor to strike Boniface with a bolt of lightning, and when the lightning failed to appear, Boniface declared it a sign of the superiority of the Christian God. He pointed to a young fir tree growing at the roots of the fallen oak, with its branches pointed to heaven, and said that it was a holy tree, the tree of the Christ child who brought eternal life. Other versions say that the fir tree sprang miraculously from the center of the fallen oak, or that Boniface planted the tree. It is also said that Boniface explained the triangular shape of the fir tree as an illustration of the Trinity. Boniface used the oak's wood to build a chapel, and an oak tree and an axe became two traditional emblems to represent the saint. It was in the United States where St. Nicholas became Santa Claus. The poem A Night Before Christmas popularized St. Nicholas, traveling in a sleigh, the sleigh being pulled by a team of reindeer, and giving the reindeer names, and that St. Nicholas came on Christmas Eve. In conclusion, winter festivals influenced Christmas. The 4th century was the first written evidence of Christmas. Matthew and Luke are the only Gospels to mention Jesus' birth. In the West, the first written record of Jesus in December 25th is the Philocalian calendar. Christmas was never spiritual in the first place. It started out as a winter party with Christian meanings. From the beginning to where Christmas is now, it has changed many times, getting rid of things, adding things. Christmas is now how we want to make it. Spiritual, not spiritual, religious, not religious. The references for my speech were the 12 Days of Christmas, A Christmas History, Christmas, a fascinating look at history of holiday, and Christmas, A Candid History.
And I press the white button?
Yep.